Hello, welcome back to Baking Bakers. Today is a dreary day in southern Michigan. It's warm, so the snow is all melting and it's rainy, drizzly, foggy. It's just a yucky day. So I thought some soup might be a good thing to have today. So we are going to make some Zuppa Toscana, which is an Italian soup with sausage and potatoes. I had this many years ago in a restaurant and thought it was the most fantastic thing ever. And so I came home and started making it, and I have tweaked it over the years. And today, instead of potatoes, I'm gonna use cauliflower. And I have this beautiful head of cauliflower. I'm gonna cut it apart and I'm gonna put it in the oven and roast it. And while that is roasting, we'll get some of the other ingredients around. So let's get started. Best way to cut cauliflower is from the bottom. I've already cut some of the leaves off. Get rid of those. Now you can make this with potatoes. Just change out the potatoes, or the cauliflower for potatoes, no big deal. Sometimes if my family's coming over, I'll mix it. I'll use some potatoes and some cauliflower. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna chop this up a bit, make sure the leaves are all out. I'm going to put it in a bowl. So it's a little easier to work with. Get rid of this. Then I'm going to drizzle some olive oil over it. Maybe a couple tablespoons. Some salt, or some pepper rather, to taste. Some salt and some garlic powder. All right, then I'm going to use my hands and just stir that up a little bit so that all the pieces are coated. I think I need just a little bit more olive oil. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then I have a pan that I've lined with foil for easy cleanup. And I'm just gonna spread this out in a single layer on that sheet. And then I'm going to put it in an oven that's been preheated to 375 degrees, and we're going to cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes, and we're going to just watch it after the 20 minutes to make sure that it's not browning too much on the bottom. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, while our cauliflower is roasting in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and get our sausage started. I'm just using a tube, 1 pound tube of sausage. I like to use the really spicy sausage, but if you don't like spice, you would want to use a mild sausage. And again, sometimes I use a little bit of both. So today I'm using the spicy. And we're just going to pan fry that up. Over here on the stove. I'll get that turned on. I'm just going to turn that on low and come back to our cutting board, and I am going to cut up an onion. I have a partial onion here, and I think that's enough. It's a nice big onion. I would typically use about this much. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. You can cut this as fine or as coarse as you like to. I tend to like my onion a little coarser, so I don't cut it quite as fine. But you do you. Sometimes you get these stringy outsides, you don't want that, just throw that out. That looks good. I'm going to get a bowl and set that aside. Use my cauliflower bowl. Okay, next I have some garlic somewhere. Sometimes I use garlic out of a jar. Sometimes I use fresh garlic. Today I have some fresh garlic. And my recipe actually calls for 5 cloves. So this is a clove, and this is a clove. So I'm not exactly sure. I think it's supposed to equal about a teaspoon per clove. So I like a lot of garlic, so I'm just gonna cut that bad spot off. I'm just gonna mince all of this garlic, and it'll probably be about 5 cloves, 5 teaspoons. You can use less or more, depending on your garlic likes. And I'm not an expert at this. I just chop away. This I do want to be fairly fine, unlike the onion. So once our sausage is cooked through, we'll remove it from the pan. Lost our light. We'll remove it from the pan and cook our onion and then add our garlic to that. Aha, the light's back. When you watch the chefs on the cooking shows, they would have this minced in about 3 seconds. Takes me a little longer. That's pretty good. Put this in a bowl. I'm not going to put it in with the onion because I'm not going to cook it as long as I'm going to cook the onion. Usually you want to cook onion a little bit longer and add your garlic later as a general rule. Now if you're in a hurry, you don't have to roast the cauliflower. It just gives it a better flavor, and it makes it a little bit, what's the word? The texture a little bit sturdier so that it doesn't get mushy. So that's why we're roasting it today. But I have certainly just thrown it in my stock pot before. So I'm gonna check my sausage and I'll be right back. We are over here at the stove. Our sausage is browned up really nice. I'm going to put that in a bowl and set it aside. Okay, then to this I'm going to add about 2 pieces of bacon. I am using part bacon that I'm going to cook, and I'm going to finish off with some refrigerated bacon. So this will just get us some nice bacon grease so that we can cook our onion in it. While this is cooking, I'm going to grab my stock pot. This is for the soup, and I am going to add to that some chicken broth. This is 48 ounces. You can make your own chicken broth. You can use bouillon. Whatever you want to do is fine. I'm going to put one in for now. I do have another one if I need it. I tend to like my soups a little bit thicker, more like chowders. So if you like yours more soup-like, add more broth. So I'm going to heat up my chicken broth. And I'm going to check my cauliflower. Definitely starting to brown on the bottom. Give it a good stir here. Not quite done. Once this is cooked, we're going to use all these good sausage and bacon pan drippings, and we're going to cook our onions. Grab some paper towels. That's my cauliflower timer. I'm going to go for another 4 minutes. Again, if you don't want to use cauliflower, you can skip that whole step and just add cubed potatoes to your stock and cook it until they're tender. All right, I'm going to take these out, put them on my paper towel to drain, get my onions. I'm going to cook these for about 5 minutes until they're turning brown and softened. Got all those good pan drippings in there. At this point, if you want to add more salt and pepper, more garlic powder, you certainly can do that. I am choosing not to. We'll cook these down for about 5 minutes, and then we'll add the garlic and cook it for another couple minutes. onions are cooking, we're going to take some spinach and chop it up a bit. I have some baby spinach. Just going to dump the whole thing out. And sometimes I'll stem some of them. I'm not real careful about getting all the stems out. They don't bother me. I usually buy baby spinach. It's a little more tender, doesn't have the thick stems. I've never used frozen spinach, but I'm sure you can. Okay. Find my knife. Stir my onions. I just rough chop this. It's going to shrink down a lot once we put it in the broth. This is a really good low carb dish if you do it with the cauliflower instead of the potatoes. And it's very healthy. All right, I'm going to put that back in my cauliflower bowl. And we'll go back to the stove. Our onions are cooked down nice. I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic somewhere behind you guys that we chopped a few minutes ago. Get that in there. Give it a stir. We'll cook that for about another 2 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to check my cauliflower again. Looking good. Can use a few more minutes. This smells really good. While this finishes up for the last minute, I'm going to go ahead and put my sausage that we cooked a little bit ago into my broth. Give that a stir. I also have this little bit of bacon I'm going to crumble into here. That looks good. All right, I'm going to wipe off my hands. We're going to go ahead and put this mixture in our stock pot. All right, I'll bring this over here so you can see it. Now, I did not use a ton of bacon because I just don't need all the grease. So I am going to use some pre-cooked bacon. And this is another one of those things that you measure with your heart. So 2 little handfuls, plus the 2 slices that we cooked. You can add more if you like more. I'm going to grab my cauliflower out. It's just starting to brown, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. You can cook it a little longer if you like to. I'm perfectly happy with how it is for me. This was a bigger head of cauliflower than I thought it might be. But I'm going to go ahead and use it all. Because as I said, I like my soup more like chowder. Put that all in. Give it a stir. The last thing we have to do, it's starting to boil. We're going to add our chopped up spinach. And that's going to very quickly begin to wilt into the soup. And we're going to let that cook 5 minutes or so. So I'll go ahead and set a timer for that. And then we have one more ingredient, and that is some nice heavy whipping cream. So we'll let that cook for a bit and I'll be back. This has been cooking for about 5 minutes. And to this now, I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Stir that in. And let it cook for another minute. And then we'll dish some up. Let's get some dished up. I like to put a little bit of shredded Parmesan on mine. And it is good, good, good. hope you enjoy this episode of Baking Bakers. I hope that you try this soup and that your family enjoys it. And don't forget to leave any questions or comments below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the like button. And we'll see you next time on Baking Bakers.